All right, what's up, bro? We're on here live now. How's it going, everybody? My name's Sebastian Bleak, and we are off the clock. Today, I'm going to be on here with my homie, Mr. Michael Mondragon. What's up, bro?
How you doing? Good
Huh?
to see you.
Hey, man,
Glad to be here.
good to see you too, bro. How's your weekend?
Weekend was good. Was in very cold Portland over the weekend.
Right
And I highly recommend going to Portland, but not right now. Go
on.
go in the spring. It's really a beautiful place. I really like it up there. I have some work up there, so I make it up there quite a bit.
I've only been there once, man, and my impression of it and what I hear too is good eats. There's a lot of good food out there.
Good eats, great breweries, good people. Actually, like the traffic. Like being in LA, you're just it's part of life.
Hmm.
But the traffic even was like nice. People were really accommodating. It was like amazing, and the public transportation is amazing. So, highly recommend Portland.
Yeah, dude, I had a blast when I went out there. I don't think I didn't go to one bad restaurant. We ended up hitting up a couple of trucks. They were amazing.
Hmm.
The people were super cool, like you said. I had a good time over there, good vibes, man. And then
Yeah,
now you're back over here in La La Land.
back to the grind. Yeah.
You had to make it back in time for the Oscars, right?
Oh, that's right. Of course.
Dude, I didn't even know that was going on until I started seeing all the memes and stuff last night. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyway, man, today I'm ready to get my mind blown, bro. You got some cool topics here. I'm excited to talk to you about this. So what are you gonna be showing us today, man?
Cool. Well, 3D in any program like Photoshop or Illustrator, it's not really super native, but it is in there. And it's not like Maya or Cinema 4D or anything like that. And but it has the capability. So we're gonna kind of dive in and kind of see what we can do in there. Learn a little bit about some of the lighting. But the cool thing that I learned and I've been kind of playing with, and hopefully it doesn't blow up my computer, is working with some seamless patterns that I got from Adobe stock. So we'll just be going through that and kind of like, maybe learning a little bit together. It's been a while since I've been into the 3D part of it in Illustrator, and I kind of revisited it
Yeah.
recently for this topics. But I was super like happy with like some of the results I was getting. So yeah, I'd like
Dude,
to share that.
that's super cool, man. Because as you know, we were already. Oh, and shout out to Carlos Garro. He's checking us out right now live. What's up, bro?
Awesome. What's up, bro?
But like he Carlos jumped on and he showed me some. He's getting me more comfortable with 3D and Photoshop. And I feel you, dude. It's not something that's like native in these tools. Like it's not your go-to program for 3D
Yeah.
probably. But because we do use them every day, maybe stretch out the possibilities on there a little bit. So I'm ready to see what you got going on, bro. So
Cool.
if you don't mind throwing your screen my way, and then you can go ahead and start the demo.
Okay. So let me click out of here.
Cool, thanks, man. Yeah, and I also like that you're going to bring in the Adobe stock stuff because that's such a big part of the Creative Cloud. If you're a member, we actually get free Adobe stock sometimes, don't we?
Do we? I don't even know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I heard. I think I gotta ask Hannah about that, but I think like once a month, we get like a free stock thing or something like that. All right, cool. I'm starting to see your screen. Let me bring it on over here. Let me see. All right, cool. I'll throw this guy down over there. There we go. All right, sweet, man. So there you go. The floor is yours, sir. I'm ready.
Great.
I'm ready
Thank
to
you
get
so
my
much.
mind blown. No pressure.
All right.
Oh, actually,
So
real quick before you get started, Carlos says you get 10 images per account. So that's definitely something I want to look into. We get, we're paying for the Creative Cloud already anyway, so we might as well get our 10 images on.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It's been so long since I've had it, so like I didn't even know what the current thing is. So
Yeah, dude.
that's good to know.
Oops.
And it's been super useful too because going into it, I mean, we were talking about it last time that now they have like some of the 3D models and stuff like that. And they've just integrated a whole bunch of video into there too. So it's actually super and I'm really happy with it because I've used so many of the stock footage things, and I haven't really, you get to the point where it's like, they get pretty expensive. So
Yeah.
having Adobe stock is much easier. So I'll show you that in a minute.
Cool.
So let me start out here. I'm going to start out with just a rectangle. Let me.
What's up, Justin? I'm just sorry. I'm over here shouting people out in the stream.
Got it.
It's because this time, since you're doing all the work, I get to actually pay attention to the stream for the first time in OTC history. So,
Oh, right on.
so
Okay.
sorry if I get a little excited. Shout out to the stream.
No, that's all right.
All right, go for it, bro.
So I'm actually gonna sample this color. I'm being a little sneaky right here because I've done this before, but I'm just gonna use this color right here.
That's cool.
So what we're gonna do is go up here to 3D and go to Extrude and Bevel.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna select that rectangle I just made, go to Extrude and Bevel. And obviously if you're not familiar with these, and I'm not super like geeky about 3D, and I should have been, because actually that's where Sebastian and I met. We met in at DMALA, which is all motion graphics, and this is super heavy on this. But I think that you and I, Sebastian, we're more graphic artists. We like the vectors, we like the Photoshop pixels and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, man, I'm all about it. I'm super nerd squad.
Yeah. The more I'm learning about it, the more I like it. So it's like, I mean, that's one reason why I joined that, was to learn more about this. So what's cool is like, if you notice when I'm hovering over this, these change color.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about this is they all control something else. So there's green, there's blue, and that's red. So each one of these has, let me actually turn on preview here, and you can actually see it starting to extrude right there. So if I turn it this way, as you see, that top number over here is changing. If I switch it this way, it's going a different way right here. I think it's the middle part. And I actually wish that these things lit up like the colors that they were. So
Gotcha.
the green, what it was correspond to. I wish that it had a little bit more, so you knew that what you were kind of, controlling. But that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back here. I'm going to push Option. And what Option is Alt
on PC, yep.
PC. Cool. So
That's
I'm just
dope.
going to reset that.
That's a real cool trick, by the way, because I like mentioning that to people. The reason I like that trick so much is because, like, it gives me the freedom to play around with it. Like, if I've never seen this window, like, look at all the stuff that's on the dude. There's numbers, there's letters, there's angles, all this crazy stuff. But if I know how to reset everything, like, I'm going to probably be a little bit more confident to play around. So I like that one. So can you, when you hold down what Option and then just hover over to cancel?
It's Option, and you can see it resets it. So actually, let me go back, and I'm actually going to open it up again, because actually when I open it up, I actually had it twirled out before. So but it comes in actually like this. So when you open up your 3D, probably it'll come in like this, and you actually need that more options to see a lot of this stuff below.
Oh, good point, man. You're right. You won't see the extended unless you hit that. Good point.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to push preview again. And so if we go into this extrude depth, if I make that 100, that's what it's going to do. Now, I just did something also as I pushed return. So that actually took me out of what I was doing. So, and that's usually what I do this all the time. So like whenever I commit something, I actually push returns, which actually is nothing to worry about. It's not like I can't get back into it because I'm trying to click and everything's like what's going on. You just go to the appearance panel and you just click on this and it brings it right back up.
Got you.
But the trick is you have to have it selected.
Yeah, you got to tell Illustrator, right?
Exactly.
it won't guess for you.
Right. So
Cool,
I'm going to push preview again.
I like that.
And what's cool about this is like you have actually all these that you could actually do right off. So it's super cool because not a lot of people use these either.
Yeah, those are like presets.
Give you some of these rotation. Yeah, it gives you some of the rotation that you may not have before. So again, I'm going to push Option or Alt and put it back to where it was.
Nice.
Now let's go over to the shading. Now there's different surfaces that you can have. You can have wireframe. You can have no shading, which actually does you nothing. Diffuse shading, which I'm not too familiar with, but I like the plastic shading because that seems to have the best effect.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
So, and if I move this light source around, you can see how it affects, the object. But what's super cool, and first of all, and this goes to our kind of shading or drop shadow thing that we're going to talk about later. I never use this at 100%.
Okay.
The reason I say that is that when you're lighting something, like for instance, if you're going to light a scene for a photography, you're never going to make the light so intense that it's going to blow it out.
Dude, that's a good point. I like that. That because lighting is definitely a challenge for me. That's why I was really hyped when you said you were going to talk about some lighting tips. I never really know how to explain that, so I know it's a real simple way, but I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal that.
Absolutely, and it's like, you know, if it is, that's how you're gonna get those hard shadows, because it's the light source is so close. It's like the sun being, you know, bearing down on you.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the real world, you know, you would probably go 95%. So let me get back. Of course, I pushed return again. So.
Cool.
Okay,
then,
so what's cool is...
And Justin says he uses this for mock-ups and stuff.
Yes, absolutely, which is ironic, and thank you for that, because that's exactly what we're going to do.
Oh, cool.
Good call. So I'm going to push this up to... Let me just push it up to 150. Okay. So let's do this. So we're going to actually add a new light. So if you hover over it, you see new light.
Oh, that's rad, dude. I never used that feature. That's so cool.
Okay, so you can actually have two light sources here. Are you ready for this one, Sebastian?
I don't know, man. You already blowing my mind.
You can actually go over here, and we're going to push this light behind.
Dude, that's super cool, man.
So if you notice right here, the light source is a little bit behind it. So you can actually see a little bit. Mm-hmm. And you can keep on adding lights, but, you know, obviously you don't want to, you know, overlight it. Yeah. But what's cool is you can get those lights, and you can actually make this one 50. So again, you can also push this one behind. But we're gonna just keep this here for now. So that's like one of the first tips. When I saw that, I thought that was tremendous.
Dude, I love that. I mean, I never knew you could add multiple lights in Illustrator, and I didn't know you could send it to the back. I mean, I guess I should have, but like, I never really played around with you know, those additional features down at the bottom. I usually keep my 3D basic, you know, as you've seen in the past week. I'm kind of like intimidated by it, but
oh yeah,
but I'm learning a lot.
The next one we're going to use is blend steps, but I'm going to use that on another object that I'm going to do later. So let's go into and let's map some art.
Cool.
So, okay, so we're going to go here. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me just commit this. So here it is. Okay, we're done.
Nice.
Let's wrap it up.
I like it.
No. What we're actually going to do is we need to have some symbols if we're going to actually map some art onto here. So what I'm going to do is,
and shout out to everybody in the stream. If you guys find this stuff useful, please let me know in the stream.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to select these three, and I'm going to place them. So I'm just going to, and they're going to be pretty big because I kind of made these for this.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 1, 2, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go 3.
Got you.
So I'm actually going to take this graphic and I'm going to pull it over here, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can use it as a graphic, as a movie clip, but it doesn't really matter for this right here. So I'm just going to put top. Okay, then I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pull this in and call this spine. Okay, and then this is going to be my cover.
Nice.
Okay. So let's select this again. We're going to go back to Appearance, Extrude and Bevel, push Preview again, and now we're going to map the art.
Cool.
So what's cool is if I flip through this, if you notice this red right here, this red outline, is this right here. So this would be the cover. So if we flip through this, now we have the back. We have this spine that we don't see. If I go to 4, that's the bottom.
Got you.
And then
there's the spine.
5 is the spine that I'm actually going to use. And then 6 is the top. So let's actually use the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the symbols right here. So my top, I'm going to use the top, and I'm going to scale to fit, and there it is. It pops right in there.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to go back, and I had the spine, so I'm going to use this spine. And what's really interesting, too, is notice that my spine is vertical.
Yeah.
I actually have to make my graphic horizontal.
Mm.
So that's a little bit of a workaround. I learned that the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the things you just got to work around.
Yeah.
So there it is, and I'm going to scale to fit, and then
That's
just
dope.
goes right on. And then I'm going to go back.
Yeah, Justin says that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's super
Yeah.
cool. And it's super easy if you make your graphics for this. I actually took this, which will be the cover, which you'll see. I'm going to scale to fit. I actually took this poster that I got just recently in like an email, that graphic email, and I just made these out of it. So,
Dude, that's
now,
super cool.
this is the here's where it kind of gets render intense. Like if I wanted to shade the artwork,
Yeah.
and what that's going to do is I'm going to click that. It actually is going to pick up my lighting. So I
okay.
can actually make the lighting. So let me actually push. Okay, this is where I expect stuff to blow up because it's really probably chugging and thinking and everything.
Yeah.
I actually pushed okay, and then nothing happened. There we go. So if we start moving around this lighting,
Uh-huh.
you'll see it start updating.
Whoa,
See how like it changes?
dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. You know why? Because I've seen a demo similar to this where they created a shape and then they mapped like a iPhone face and an iPhone back to it and they played around with it. And I thought that was cool. But dude, where you're setting up these lights, that's like next level right there. I like that because you could actually see it affecting the artwork right there, man. It's
Right. Exactly.
It's a quick way to mock these things up, bro. I mean, I've seen this before, but like you're kind of showing me like that there's a little bit more power than I thought. You know what I mean? I kind of just dismissed it a little bit. That's dope.
Absolutely. And and these are just like JPEGs. So it's like that's what's super cool about it. You can actually like if I think these are higher res JPEGs than probably you would probably use. So if you make them lower res, they're going to work a lot faster.
Got you. So real quick, Justin is sharing his experience with this. What he did, and I'm not doing this to embarrass you, Justin, just so we could all know like different ways of looking at it. He says he always did it the hard way. He would make the art the right dimensions and then apply a preset position to each file and then combine them all at the end. Like, so instead of using that mapping thing that you did, like he would actually like warp and transform each piece. So you can see how you're saving him a ton of time and frustration right now by doing this.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Jocko.
Actually, that's harder too because it's like there's so many angles involved that you're never going to get them all correct.
Yep.
And if you do, you are super brain because that's pretty amazing to be able to do that. And when I started doing Photoshop and stuff like that, when it was like the warp and transform, I did it the same way too. So no shame in it. Yeah, that's how you learn.
Yep.
So there you go. So like I could go on with this one, but I think that the next one is pretty cool too. So if you got a lot out of that, that's super cool.
Dude, that's rad. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to everybody watching the stream. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just get rid of this one because we need as much render as we can.
You don't want to overwork your machine.
You never know. You
Yeah,
never
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go back here and let me start here. So I'm just gonna take this right here and I'm actually going to select that. So we just make a simple circle, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select one of the points on the right here, and I'm just gonna delete that.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna select these two, and I'm just gonna put Command J.
Nice.
Okay. So now I'm going to select this, go back to Effect, and I'm going to go to Revolve. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to preview it, and then we see we have this object. So this isn't actually what I wanted. I actually want a ball.
Is that an iMac? Is that the new Mac, bro? The Mac trash can? It looked like.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like I used to love those. I was like, oh, this will catch on, and no, okay. Too bad.
Yep. It's cool design.
So Okay, so as you see here, there's a lot of banding in this light shading. So let me bring this down just a touch. Man, I wanted that Mac Pro to work so much.
I know.
Like I'm going to take it with me in a backpack and hook it up to a monitor. Nope.
No.
Did not work.
I had the Cube. Do you remember that?
I do. And I was watching the movie, and that's pretty much what the what Steve Jobs was with the Next, or if I'm not mistaken, that's the his one when he left Apple. He made like a educational computer that it was very similar to that.
Yeah, man, I thought it was awesome. I had a G4 Cube.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go here to blend steps. This is where we're going to get. This is where I'm actually going to put in 100 because you get really nicer kind of banding right there because it pulls them all together. So we can actually make other lighting. Now this is going to be unforgiving. This is where I'm like kind of grabbing this stuff. Oh, it's so unforgiving. So kind of bring it around. But the lighting so much is not what I want to do with this one.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let me just make another light just for sake of.
And just so you know, man, I'm checking out all these little features and stuff like that. So that's awesome for me. Like all these little icons you're playing around with, I hardly ever visit them. So that's
cool.
pretty cool stuff.
Right on. So actually, so I want to push OK on this one. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, if I go over here, I have this little 8 already set up. Look at that.
Nice.
I'm so strategic. Can you see where I'm going with this one?
I love it.
Pull it over. Now I'm going to make an 8.
And Carlos says that blend steps make some computers cry.
Oh, for sure, especially if you don't have the right video card. And, it's like, oh, there's so many things that could go wrong with that. All right, so I have my 8 in there, so I can get rid of that. So I'm going to go back here and go to my parents, go to 3D Revolve, and then preview, map art. Now you notice we have a little bit of a different type of effect here. So I'm going to pull in the 8, and what's cool is I pull it in. Look at that.
Whoa.
Gorgeous.
I've never seen that.
Yep. So there you go. So it's
that's pretty cool, dude.
All right. So I mean, you can make a pretty quick 8-ball, and I mean, I am only showing you this, and you could obviously be a lot better with this, but this is demo time.
Yeah.
So now, what I really want to do is I really want to show you this. So that was super easy, right? I mean, if you're gonna make an 8-ball, like how many times are you gonna make an 8-ball?
Yep.
But let's make something that's super cool that
magic 8-ball.
Maybe can go to the next level.
Yep.
Okay. So tell me if you see my screen. Do you see my Adobe stock?
Yes, sir.
So this is where I went into. So I started thinking about it. I started like looking at it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if you can do seamless patterns in here. So I looked up seamless patterns, and actually, there's quite a few in here.
Nice. Carlos is probably going crazy right now because he's the seamless pattern god.
That's awesome. So let's update this. So there's quite a few in here. I mean, as you can imagine, there's going to be, if you go through here and you see I've licensed some of them, which I'm actually going to show you. But you can get pretty elaborate. Now, this is, again, where having a super elaborate pattern could break everything. Your computer will shut down and you're done for the day. But if you're strategic about it, it could actually work really cool. So I'm going to show you that right now.
Okay, cool.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I have a couple right here that I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to pull in this one. I'm just going to call it Waves 1.
And Carlos says he sees patterns everywhere.
Nice.
I just hear that Uber Everywhere song now, thanks to him. All right, so symbols. I like that, man. So and then these symbols, they stay with the document, right? So every time you use this document, you'll be able to access these same symbols.
Exactly.
Cool.
So then this is a super trippy one that I like.
I dig it, dude.
So I'm going to take this one, and so this will be Waves 2.
I don't know what you're gonna do, man, but I'm kind of excited. I know it's gonna be something cool.
So let me get rid of these because I don't need them anymore because I have them all in my symbols. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. So we're going to go here, going to select this, going to get rid of that, select these 2 points, Command J.
Nice for join.
Yep. And actually, I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to make this a different color. Give that a little bit. And then go back to Revolve.
Nice.
Okay, so go to that right edge. We're going to put up those blend steps. But I don't know if you'll need it for this one, but it looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to map the art. And we're going to go up to here, and let's go to this waves. Cool. So there it is, and it's just sitting over there.
All right.
But if you scale to fit,
whoa, that's dope.
There you go.
That's dope.
So you have a seamless pattern, so it's going to wrap all the way around.
Oh man, mind blown right now. That's pretty dope. I've never seen anybody do that. Carlos probably seen it before because he's been around forever, but I've never seen that. Let me know in the chat if you guys ever seen that before. I'm gonna see a bunch of nevers.
This kind of, you would not expect that from this, right?
No, not at all, man. Not at all, dude. That's super cool. I'm stealing this.
Okay. So then, if I clear it, let me clear this. Let's go to the other ones and see what we can get. So I'm gonna scale to fit. Look at that.
Dude, that's funky. I like that.
So this one, this is where I started. This is where I started, so I scaled to fit on this.
That's
how cool is that?
Super dope, dude. Justin's probably going to try it right now.
So this is where it can get, hopefully this will kind of, expand your mind as to what this could be. And when I started mapping it onto just a round surface, but you can imagine, if you take letters and stuff like that and you were to put it on there, you could probably get the same effect and start playing around with it. And actually, the thing about it is you have a lot of surfaces. So if you start like beveling and extruding it, you start making more surfaces. But if you keep the surfaces, like this is just one surface, so it's only used one, less render intensive. So there you go. This is. I hope that this helped, and obviously, I can tell that you enjoyed it. So
that's super rad. Yeah, and then Carlos said he's seen it, but he thinks it's super cool. Justin said he's never seen it. Super crazy. I just thought that was so rad, man. And then because it is a 3D sphere, and it's an effect, you could always go back and kind of spin it around, right, and kind of get different looks.
Yep. So let's actually do that. So we'll just go into here, go into preview, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just kind of.
Oh yeah, that's so cool, man. Because I'm gonna set something up like that one day, and my client's gonna be like, "Oh, but I like that side," or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So instead of knowing all these numbers, you have all these, but then you can dial it all in, and once you kind of figure all this out, you can start doing that. But that's where I'm at. When I started doing all this stuff, I'm like, oh, super cool, and I started. The one limitation I did find though was, and I'll show you it right here. So let me go back. I'm actually going to go to my libraries, and this is one that I brought out. So let me go into this one. Now this is one of the patterns that I downloaded as well.
Nice.
So then when I started and when I embedded it, okay, so you see there's masking involved.
Yeah.
So you basically need this square. You can't really have any of this stuff because what happens is if I go to symbols mm-hmm. and I pull it in, mm-hmm. so let me just do test for now. Mm-hmm. What you'll see is it's different. You can see the white around.
Yeah, it has all this additional space right there, which it's not going to make it seamless anymore, right?
Exactly. So when I started doing, if I double click into it, I tried different things. I tried Pathfinder and I tried all these other things. And I'm like, what you basically got to do is you really got to do a lot of work to make sure that it's just this. There's no outside stuff. And that's what these are. When I double click into this,
Yeah.
it's just that right there.
Yeah.
It's a square. It's going to be able to be seamless. This other one needs a little work.
Got you.
So that's the only one that I noticed. I also noticed too when I had this. If I let me double click into this,
Oh, okay.
this this like for instance, if you to make like a cylinder and then put this on top, you can actually make a can, which is super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
The problem is that there's this shading in it.
Beer and
Right there.
baseball. You can do some beer and
That
baseball.
it tries to render it. So all the stuff like right here, it tries to render it all. So it kind of takes a lot to. You might want to just fake this a little bit more.
Ah, gotcha.
Even though it's super cool, but it's pretty render intensive because it tries to raster. I believe it tries to rasterize it, and it just almost blew up my computer. But I mean, it's super cool what you could probably do, and you would just map this to the top of something, which is just super exciting that you could even try to do something like that. So hopefully that kind of opens your mind as to what can be done.
Dude, it does. It's super cool because I mean, Carlos and I were talking about it, and it's like the 3D in Illustrator is basically like a really old plugin, that hasn't been updated in a while. So we kind of forget about it a little bit, and it was cool to see you do some things I've never seen with it before, and you showed me some additional options that I never played around with. So that's pretty cool, man. I like that.
Right on.
I dig it, bro. So let me see. We went through the mapping. You got your Adobe stock in there. Some lighting tips. Dude, that's cool. What else you got, man? You all set?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had to show, and I know that you wanted to talk about some other stuff potentially.
Yeah. I was gonna just run through real quick. I was thinking about doing a text 3D extrusion, but you already kind of covered a lot of the basic stuff so I don't want to make people sit through that. But just because I like to throw in a quick tip when we go on these, just to make sure that it's just not us yapping and stuff like that. Oh, let me see. Carlos says it's an old program. My bad. It was an old program called Adobe Dimensions. That's what it was.
Oh wow.
It was called Adobe Dimensions, and I guess Illustrator ate it. I was looking at it as a plugin because, if you look at it, once you launch Illustrator, you see all these plugins come up because basically it's built on that. But yeah, basically it was an old tool like that. So for myself, real quick, I like throwing in a quick tip at the end of one of these. I'm going to show you guys, I guess, a quick. You like this one right here? You like that one, Mr. Michael? You see the one I got over here off screen?
I don't. I don't see anything actually.
Oh, you're not seeing my screen yet. That's why, because you had it on. Let me come back over here. Sorry. I got to take the screen back. Let's see.
No worries.
There we go. There we go. I was over here trying to show off your contact info. I didn't realize I didn't have the screen.
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, right over here, bro. This guy right here.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, cool. So real quick talk about a halftone effect native in Illustrator. I know Carlos is probably going to go crazy because I'm not doing Phantasm, but I wanted to talk about something native in Adobe Illustrator first. We're going to have a whole day on Astute Graphics next month. Carlos knows what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he's yelling at me right now to share the screen. Sorry, bro, I keep forgetting. All right, to share the screen. All right, so I want to talk about the halftone effect native in Illustrator. First, I'm just going to draw out a basic sphere here. And I'm going to throw in a gradient here. So if you look over on my left, you'll see I'm going to hit X to activate my stroke, slash to get rid of that guy, X to bring back my fill, and then period to fill it in with a gradient. I'm all about my keyboard shortcuts, bro. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, heck yeah. I love it.
That's why I got excited when you were talking Command J. I was like, yes, he knows his stuff.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's so like I don't even think about it anymore. It's really amazing how much I use my keyboard strokes, and it's second nature to me now.
Yeah, man. Here's a new feature too. I'm using the Ellipse Tool, and now you could actually resize it and reposition it. I wonder where they got that idea from. Carlos, do you know where they might have got that from? Anyway, so let's see. We got this gradient here, and the way you apply a halftone effect is you have your artwork selected, jump over here to the top where it says effect, and then let's see, which one was it? It's let me see. I always have to was it stylize, pixelate. There we go, color halftone. All right, so when you click on that, you get this awesome window here that doesn't really tell you much what's going on here. But, all right, the way I work with this is right here it shows you the max radius of basically your circles there. And Carlos, go ahead and correct me whenever you're ready. Next, we have the different channels, and the way it goes is RGB, CMYK. Depending on which one you have creeping out right there, you'll start seeing the color peek through. But I just want to see nothing but black dots. So I'm going to just pick an arbitrary number like 85, tab over 85, 85, and 85. All right, let's see what happens when I click OK. Boom, then we get those dots there. All right, so let me come back in here. I just want to apply the default one and see what happens. Pixelate, color halftone. Oh no, it's still gonna remember the last one that I had. But let's see what happens if I switch things up here. I think it was like 105, 68, and I don't know, 24. All right, click OK. See, the dots are still the same size, but now you start seeing those channels kind of creep through there and stuff like that. So that's not really all that fun. Let's see. What did it say? Oh, Carlos is saying that it tries to emulate CMYK because this is actually a pixel-based effect here. Watch me zoom in on this guy. That's like the downside to it. Check that out. It's kind of a bummer that you're trying to do a halftone in there, but I just want to show you guys how to actually work with this. So this is a live effect. So you go into the window menu, bring up your appearance panel, and when you have your artwork selected, you'll see it over here in the appearance panel. It says color halftone. So clicking on it will give you access to that panel again. So here, I'm gonna go back to those 85s that I had. 85, 85, 85, click OK. And then notice the size of the dots. There we go. There, right now that I'm looking at it at 100%, it looks pretty clean, but then as I zoom in, you start seeing the issues there. So if you guys need pixel perfect halftones, I'd recommend checking out Phantasm by Astute Graphics. But if you just want to get a little halftone effect inside of your artwork here, this is a pretty quick way to do it. And then if you want to change the size of the dots, then I would just choose this max radius here. So let's go with, I don't know, I'm going to try 15 and see what I get. See how the pixels get a little bit larger there. And Carlos, let me know. I think, yeah, actually, the what do you call it? The resolution for this is found in the effects menu over here under document raster effects settings. And then right here, you're probably going to want to bump this up if you want some cleaner circles in there. And there you go. See, it's kind of snapped into place a little bit. Yeah, Carlos is still screaming out Phantasm. It's way more intuitive to use, but I did want to show you guys how to do this native in Adobe Illustrator.
Can you go back to your settings?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm gonna click on this guy here. Boop. Oh, or the document settings. Is that what you want to see?
Oh no, you actually went to the settings where you actually went to the drop-down menu just a second ago. So if you go into Effect, right, Document Raster Effect settings. Go to the color model.
Cool.
And then click on that. So you have, okay, this is kind of interesting too, because I was just thinking about this. Okay, so when I would do this in Photoshop, if I were to do it in RGB or even CYMK, you would get those 4 channels. But what I would do was I would take that same thing and I would actually put it into grayscale. And I'm wondering if you make the grayscale that you're not going to have that kind of that color effect. So it's going to be this in grayscale.
And then you think if I change some of these values or something?
Yeah, try it. If you make that grayscale, see it may stay the same. I'm interested to see what it does.
Yeah, let's see what it does. Boom. Yeah, I don't see any of those colors creeping through. Let's see. Carlos says the beauty is that you can adjust the document raster effects settings on the fly. So that's kind of one workaround that I've heard is, you get this set up how you want, and if you got the circles exactly how you need them, then you go into document raster effects settings and then crank this guy up, because you could also do other and do some ridiculously high number, and then maybe like image trace it or something like that. It's still not gonna give you the best result, but I've seen a couple tutorials out there where that's what they recommend. But honestly, if halftones are vital to your workflow, I'd recommend going to astutegraphics.com and just getting the Phantasm, and it'll like save you a bunch of time. Plus, it's free for 2 weeks, so
there you go.
All right, man. So that's my quick tip. And yeah, dude, is there anything else you want to yap about, or are you ready to close it out?
No, that's good. I was glad that you enjoyed it. I was expecting my computer to blow up and it would be a whole mess, but it was actually turned out real good.
You had fun. It was your first
Yeah,
demo, right? Kind of pretty
yeah. I was super excited to do it again. I mean, this is fantastic. So
sweet.
I'm really glad to get the knowledge out there.
Yeah, man, I'd love to have you on again. So, yep. Man, so yeah, dude. Let's see. So here's all Michael's info. Make sure you hit him up on Twitter. Go ahead and bug him over there. He's a creative director for Nerdy Connections. What does Nerdy Connections do? Just a quick breakdown.
So my girlfriend and I, we run a social media and graphic design company, and we also we do some marketing and websites on the side. So it's we're not so much into websites. We've been doing websites, but we're super into geeky technology, and I can't wait for my Snapchat spectacles to come in. We've had the Google Glass, so we're totally up
Oh,
on
cool.
technology. We love all social media. We have a lot of social media accounts, so that's what we do, and that's Nerdy Connections. And what we do is we take our clients and we all hook them up with each other. So that's how Sebastian. That's how we Sebastian now will market to other people, and Carlos, we're gonna say, oh, we got this guy in Costa Rica that's
Yep.
awesome, and so yeah, so that's what we do.
That's rad, man. I like it, dude. I like it. I'm all about getting nerdy, so I dig what you guys got going on there. All right, man. So let's see. Justin's out. See you later, bro. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, Michael, thanks for coming on, bro. Let me see. Here's all my stuff. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. If anything, just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Go check out some videos there. I do a bunch of short tutorials on Illustrator and Photoshop. And then over here on Twitch, for Sebastian Bleak off the clock, we pretty much, get nerdy. Like we're talking at a bar or something like that about this nerdy stuff that we love so much. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And Michael, can I get you back on soon? I don't know when you're free again, but
Oh,
are you
anytime,
down to come
anytime.
back? All
I'm
right,
here.
sweet, sweet, cool, man. So we'll definitely get you back on here. And then that's it, man. Thanks everybody for checking us out. Michael, you want to say anything else? Yep.
No, thank you so much. Thanks for watching and listening, and definitely, I like to learn as much as everybody else. So it's like like you say, you never stop learning.
Woo! I love it, bro. So I'm hungry, bro. So I'm about to go get some tacos. You about to go get some grub?
Heck yeah,
All
heck
right,
yeah.
brother. All right.